100 for 100, the podcast for anybody that's out there watching movies, not sure what they like, what they don't like. They're trying to parse through all the shit that's out there. Did some of your work for you, man. Did some of your work for you. Took 100 films. I ranked them from 100 to 1 to help you out in life, to make your days easier. And then each of them got a 100-word review, which is how I got the name of this show, 100 for 100. We're releasing each one day at a time, starting from January 1st all the way throughout 2020, the first 100 days for you. Yesterday, we were in the urban Western genre, talking about No Country for Old Men, a very good movie, a good, long, thoughtful movie. Today, we're sticking with the Western genre, number 43 on our list, 1966's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, directed by Sergio Leone. And here's the 100-word review for this film. One of the most respected films in the Western genre. Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is an epic film set during the American Civil War. Leone's decision to oscillate between long shots and close-ups, combined with his signature employ of silence and tension, the film tells the tale of three gunmen on the ultimate treasure hunt. The deconstruction of the noble cowboy popularized by John Wayne is fascinating to watch, as Clint Eastwood presents a more complex and morally gray character. Complete with composer Ennio Morricone's score, this is one of the paragons of the genre. And that being said, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is my favorite Western of all time. It's a genre I don't love, I don't watch a lot of, but especially old Westerns. But this one, man, it got me. I don't know how or why, but I watched it. First time I tried watching it, I was like, this ain't doing it for me. Cut it off. Maybe 30 minutes in, cut it off. Then I got a hold of the director's cut, and it just seemed like a whole different story. That's why director's cuts matter. I think any film where there's a director's cut, I automatically disregard the theatrical release, and I will watch the movie that is presented to us the way the director intended us to see it in the first place. The director's cut adds a solid 30 minutes onto an already long, this is a long film, and I love basking in every frame of this long film. Leone knows how to make an expansive ass Western. Lots, like I said in the review, lots of long shots, so you really get a good sense of the scale and the scope of the background. It helps with the scale and the scope of the film in itself. Set during the American Civil War, you got three guys who find out there's $100,000 in gold coins, which by today's standards is a hefty sum of money. Hell, if you tell me in 2020 there's $100,000, I'm going for it. Each of them come to the knowledge that it exists in different ways. And we find out that this money is buried at Sad Hill Cemetery under a certain name. One member of the trio, the Ugly, knows it's in the cemetery, but doesn't know what name. Sad Hill Cemetery had thousands of graves. Clint Eastwood's character, the Good, the so-called Good, he knows what name is buried under, so each has half of the information, and they are forced to work together after they have both attempted to kill each other previously in the film in order to split this $100,000. And you have Lee Van Cleef as the bad, who comes to it a whole completely different way, and he is the most ruthless in getting the information and letting them do all the hard work and locating it. Eli Wallach playing the Ugly, the most hard scrabble character I have seen in film. This dude works for every scrap of things that he gets. I mean, he just looks bedraggled and haggard, as most professional gunmen, cowboys, bounty hunters, whatever the case may be. They're very put together. They have their gun in their holster at their hip. His gun is a piece of rawhide tied around, a loop on the handle of the gun, and it just hangs from his neck. Like that's how this dude rolls. Clint is cool and confident, playing the man with the no name for the third time, even though I think chronologically this is the first of the man with the no name films. Kind of like they do them out of order of the Indiana Jones movies. It is a wonderful, wonderful film, and Morricone's score is what really holds it together. Especially the three-way shootout. The three-way shootout, for me, is in the top 5 greatest scenes in film history. And it comes down to acting, scoring, and editing. when you realize what's about to happen. In Westerns, you've always seen two guys, meet me at noon. We're going to have a draw off at high noon. And it's just those two dudes face each other. The crowd's on the sidelines, and then it goes down. And then once you start realizing this is going to be a three-way draw, you don't know where to point your gun in a three-way draw when you got two other dudes who could be potentially pointing their gun at you. Once that realization starts hitting, and then Morricone's music starts hitting, and then Leone's editing between person to person to person, which each time it cuts back to the person, it's a little bit closer and a little bit closer up, to the point where it's just their eyes are all you see. And then the score crescendos, the guns come out, and then the violence happens. And it is amazing to watch. The fact that the end calls back to the beginning of the movie is wonderful. People get what they deserve in this film, I think is the best way to put it. So you deserve to watch a great movie. So make sure you check out number 43 on this Hound list, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.